What up guys, so I got the speed gauge on Amazon and it shows a bunch of stuff like speed, RPM and voltage, so I really only need it for the speed. The problem with my custom steering wheel is that it completely blocks the digital readout on the dash as well as the analog needle, and I can move it up but then it just sits too high, and in the ideal position, which is almost all the way down, it just completely blocks those gauges. So I thought, you know, why not just get one of these? It's pretty cheap. I think it was something like 25 to 30 bucks. So the other thing I don't like about it is that you can see the speed reflecting in the windshield. It's like when you're driving, it acts like a heads-up display. This hood that covers it is a little bit too short. So I made this little plate here from like the scrap I had, and I'm gonna just glue it to the top. So yeah, it's a pretty cool unit, and it's perfect for those people who have custom steering wheels or who want to just see the speed up ahead and up high on the dash. So I mounted literally like under the windshield, above the gauges, the gauge cluster. So you'll see in a bit. What I'm going to do now is sand this area a little bit here and just epoxy this on. Cool sandpaper 80 grit to put a little bit of masking tape. So the reason for sanding is mainly just so that the epoxy has something to grab onto, because if you epoxy it to this smooth area here, it's just not going to grab onto it. So like the carbon bit is smooth on one side obviously, and has like a rough texture. I use peel ply, so you don't have to sand this area at all. So it just already has like the rough finish. So now I'm just gonna degrease it with some alcohol. I use like isopropyl. So you don't want to use too harsh of a chemical. So this is easy. Just the way I do it is this. Just take a scale, use these little tattoo type of cups that I buy on eBay as well. And I use this black dye, so this makes anything you add it to black. Mix it really well. So literally just need like a super thin layer of epoxy. Otherwise, once you kind of squeeze it in between the two parts, it's gonna flow out and it's gonna make a mess. So the heat actually bursts all the bubbles that were introduced while mixing the epoxy. It's pretty easy to connect. Do the same way you would do like with an access port. I guess the only downside is that it has to be always plugged in. Make sure it lines up. Let's tuck this in. So the little hood I added, it didn't really work out. I could still see the reflection of the speed in the windshield. Figured, you know, I'm gonna make a new one and show you guys exactly how I make it. So this is my box of scrap, and all the pieces that I cut out from like when I make winglets or whatever, they go here. So I never really throw anything away unless it's like super tiny useless bits. Over time I've collected quite a bit of scrap. So what I'm going to use is something thin enough. So here's the original. I guess if I shift it, that's pretty much it. So and to cut stuff I use this Dremel. It's like one of these Dremels with a pedal that you can actually control. And face mask. Turn on the vacuum. And now what I do is just refine the edges, make the corners round. So for this kind of thing I use my random orbit sander. It actually has an 800 grit. So I'm going to switch it out for 400. Just wipe it down. Now I'm going to switch to 800 grit. Just make the edges all around smoother. So this is the beeps. Turned it off.
And there's a bunch of like speed alarm. It's pretty much got everything. This is the brightness. So
a simple mod like this, I mean, I don't know if you can call it a mod, but like an accessory makes a huge difference, especially for me. What more can I say? Highly recommend it for somebody who wants to get the gauge or the speed to show up, you know, on top of the dash. So you actually get less distracted looking down constantly to see speed. The settings, you can adjust pretty much everything in it, and you can calibrate it so that, like, if it's a little bit off, like a few miles, you can actually change the setting, like the percentage, so you actually compensate for that inaccuracy. But so far in like the default settings is pretty accurate. So yeah guys, I'll see you in the next video.